The second key to good writing is what I call the SVR. SVR. That's the subject-verb relationship. Subject-verb relationship. Now, let me explain what I mean by subject-verb relationship. What do people want to know when they read your document? They want to know who is doing what, or what is doing what. How does this happen? Where does it happen? When does it happen? And how do you express this? In the subject-verb relationship. Now, we talked about the head-to-paper problem, that a lot of times in your mind you can clearly see what you want to convey to your readers. But by the time it gets down to your fingers and into the keyboard and onto the screen or onto that person's email, somehow it loses something in translation. Because what you see in your head and what the readers read can be two different things. That's the head-to-paper problem. The subject-verb relationship is how or why that happens. Let me give you an example of what the subject-verb relationship means and how it affects the head-to-paper. Suppose we had this sentence, a dog bit the man. In that sentence, all of you got a picture. Now we have 15 people in the room, that means 15 different pictures. You see 15 different dogs and 15 different men biting on different parts of the anatomy. But each of you got a picture. The reason for that is dog is the subject, bit is the verb, and man is the relationship. Suppose I said, a dog bit. Do you have a complete picture? So you don't have a complete picture. That's why you need the subject-verb relationship. Now, with the head-to-paper problem, you may be thinking a dog bit the man. But this is what shows up on the screen. A man bit the dog. See, the words are the same. The words are always there. It's how you put it in the subject-verb relationship that changes. In this, man becomes the subject, bit stays there as the verb, and dog becomes the relationship. Headline writers know the power of good subject-verb relationships. You can tell a good newspaper from a not-so-good newspaper simply by reading their headlines. Suppose we said, man walks on moon, local man wins lottery, blizzard hits northeast.
You could also think sports headlines. Think about good sports writers and the headlines they use. Pittsburgh wins Super Bowl. That's what you want to know. Pirates hound Padres. Penguins slash Sabres. Now I know you're going to start picking on me because I'm pushing Pittsburgh, but hey, that's where I live, so I have to use those analogies. So think subject-verb relationship.
An hour ago, I happened to be reading some headline. See, subject-verb relationship. Navy strikes dying satellite. Navy, subject, strikes is the verb, satellite is the relationship. Okay, you ready for this one? The gang's all here. Now I know you're ready to read that article, right? Council okays historic status for Wilson Home. 17-year-old's quick action saved tenants from fire. See, good headlines show you a subject-verb relationship. And that's how your sentences need to be composed, so you have a strong subject-verb relationship. Here's what happens that sort of drives you away from a good subject-verb relationship. Right there in the verb is where most people go astray. People don't have a clue on how to use the verbs correctly. And when you misuse verbs, or don't even use the verbs, when you misuse a verb, it clouds up the subject. Now, if something is cloudy, obviously it cannot be clear. That's why writing is not clear, because people don't know how to use verbs correctly. Now, another reason why the subject-verb relationship is important to you, can all of you remember, what, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, your English teacher's telling you that the subject of a sentence is always, what? A noun or a pronoun. See, that somewhere in the back of your mind that is lingering. Well, that's an important concept, because indeed the subject of a sentence is always a noun or a pronoun, but objects of prepositions are always nouns and pronouns. Remember prepositional phrases where you have a preposition and an object? Well, the reason this is important is that a lot of times you have what should be the subject of your sentences buried as an object of a preposition. See, the word is in the sentence. It looks good inside your head. But when it gets down on paper, you're not using it with the power that it can and should have. So every time you use too many nouns and pronouns in the sentences, what it does is that it tends to cloud up the subject. So first of all, you're baffling them by using the wrong verbs. And then secondly, you're throwing too many nouns and pronouns into the sentence, and so people are confused in terms of who is doing what.
Please look at the sentence. With this situation, there is involved an apparent reorganization of all 15 departments in the company. This sentence contains 4 nouns: situation, reorganization, departments, and company. Now, because you have so many nouns in this sentence, your readers can become confused in terms of who is doing what. How do you find the subject of a sentence? By asking who or what is doing the action. So because you have so many nouns in this sentence, your readers might not get the same picture that you are trying to convey. So I will discuss this sentence and how to overcome this in another part of this program. Hi, this is Al back in the studio. Let me put my money where my mouth is. I want to prove to you that editing is the most important step in the writing process. And I want to prove to you that the subject-verb relationship is the soul of the amazing power editing system. I'm going to show you a sentence, and I would like you to find the subject of this sample sentence. Here's the sentence. If there is an Al Borowski in the building, please report to the main lobby. In that sentence, you will find 3 nouns: Al Borowski, building, main lobby. If you can correctly tell me the subject of that sentence, I will send you a copy of one of my books or of one of my special reports or an audio download of one of my programs. All you have to do is email me with the correct subject of that sentence. And if you do that, I will send you an email asking you to select which reward you would like. Study the sentence and remember that you find the subject of the sentence by asking who or what is doing the action of the verb. That's your hint to successfully finding the subject of that sentence. When you know the answer, please email me at al@connectallthedots.com or al@proposalwritingsuccess.com. Good luck. Let's get back to the program.
I will give you 5 ways that people destroy good verbs and show you how they affect your writing, and how by just looking for these things, writing will become a lot easier in the editing stage, not in the writing stage. See, the writing is easy because you've got it in your head, you've got a cord up in front of you, you're moving along and creating your document. It's in the editing stage that we find these things where it becomes unbelievably easy. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 steps that can help you make your writing more powerful and your sentences shorter and clearer.